Here's your Rutherford weather forecast.
Well, good Monday, everybody. The day after Easter, and here we are on April 1, and here we are looking at severe weather potential for tomorrow. In fact, severe weather is going to be likely for us tomorrow, and we're going to jump into the details on that, and we're also going to have some audio from National Weather Service meteorologist Sam Herron in Nashville. So we're going to kind of give you what we know now, and this probably will be a last update before we have the severe weather possibilities or likelihood tomorrow. So let's just go right on into things and take a look at the outlook for tomorrow. And on the outlook, you can see, obviously, that we are, one more back. There we go. I forgot to turn my pen on here so I could write, just so you can find Rutherford County. Just circled it right there. So that's Rutherford County. And we are obviously in this yellow shaded color. That means an enhanced risk of severe storms tomorrow. And we're going to break this down now that we're right here upon the event. We can break this down from, what is the tornado risk within this enhanced risk, the damaging wind risk, and the hail risk. So we're going to take a look at that coming up here. So let's look at it. So enhanced risk, as you can see in the in the orange, the slight risk, or level 1, I misspoke there too. Level 2 out of 5 is our slight risk. So this is in the yellow where you see I'm checking here. And of course, most of Middle Tennessee is in this enhanced or level 2. I did it again. I'm sorry. Level 3 out of 5. Okay. The information has been coming hot and heavy this afternoon, so apologize for that, trying to get all of this together for you. So a level 3 out of 5, enhanced risk for Rutherford County and much of Middle Tennessee. As we take a look at the day 2 tornado risk, this has, and here is Rutherford County once again, right here. This has Rutherford County in a 10% chance of a tornado within any given point here within that area. Okay, so somewhere in this area, the Storm Prediction Center is predicting that there could be a 10% chance of a tornado. And you see these dashes, right? The dashes, I'm kind of making a few right here. Those dashes, and you see this word right here, significant severe. That is for the possibility of a tornado that could be a long track tornado, one that is EF2 or greater. So that's our tornado risk that is coming up for Tuesday. Then we go to the wind risk, and we've said all along that significant severe winds are the likelihood with this system, as well as now a higher tornado risk as we see today. Here's Rutherford County again, just circled that for you. And what this is meaning here, of course, there's another hatched area too. That means a 30% chance in any point here in the red that you could see significant severe damaging winds. And that's at a 30%, so 3 in 10 chance anywhere in this area. And the significant is within this black hatched area, so they could have significant damaging straight line winds. And finally, the hail risk. Once again, here's Rutherford County, and we're in that 30% risk for hail. You can see the higher significant hail possibilities are up in, northern Kentucky into Ohio. This area, if we go back here to our first slide, you can see that anywhere from Columbus to Cincinnati, that is in this red shaded area. That is a moderate risk or a level 4 out of 5. Let me get all my levels right there. So That's kind of what we have for you with our slides. And now's the time to plan. We talked about this on the previous update. Yesterday, we were a few days out. Today, where are we? We're right here, the day before. So now is the time to look at plans, to adjust plans, make sure that you're getting your weather emergency alerts, and make sure you've got a place to shelter. That was for yesterday. Know where your safe places are, and now make sure that they're accessible. Then the day of, tomorrow, we'll be watching for watches that are issued, and then any warnings that are issued. When a warning's issued, you've got just a short amount of time to take action. So that's why we're trying to get us all prepared the day before. And use this opportunity to talk with anyone who may not stay up on the weather like you do. Obviously, you're here watching this. So make sure you have some communication with them. Just let them know, hey, Tuesday, severe weather day, kind of stay close in with some type of weather information. And know the difference between a watch and a warning. Warning means take action. You've got just minutes to get to safety. A watch means be prepared. So we'll have first a watch. If there is one issued tomorrow, that is very likely. And then any warnings that come from that, they could be severe thunderstorm or tornado warnings within a tornado watch. I will say that some of the information we've been getting today, these storms are going to be rotating. So even if it is a severe thunderstorm warning, it could quickly change into tornado warning. So kind of keep that in mind. And one place that you can go to is RutherfordWX.com. You've probably found us on Facebook or X or Twitch or any of the other social media. But if you go to RutherfordWX.com, that's got a link to all of the socials. And we now have where we can broadcast live there on the homepage. So what you're seeing can also be seen on RutherfordWX.com. All right. So we've gone through the slides. We know the risk and things of that nature. So wanted to just kind of dive on in and take a look here at radar. Not seeing a whole lot here at this point. We can zoom out here a little bit and let me go back to our radar. And see, there are some storms popping up and some very large hail with these storms just out to our west in Arkansas and Oklahoma. So this is a system that has also, in the warm front area, has caused some large hail up in the Cincinnati and northern Kentucky, southern Ohio area. Had the chance today to hear from National Weather Service meteorologist Sam Herron. And so as we look at this clean radar picture right now, but Sam Herron mentioned that all modes of severe weather will be possible coming up on Tuesday.
Everything is in play. Of course, the most widespread threat would be the damaging winds, but also we do have potential for large hail and a few tornadoes. This is going to be primarily during the afternoon and early evening.
So afternoon, early evening, when we expect that weather to be part of our issue. So let me just go ahead and put back on our categories here. So once again, in the orange, Rutherford County, most of Middle Tennessee, enhanced risk of severe storms, level 3 out of 5. The Storm Prediction Center has raised our risk of tornadoes to about a 10% chance of a tornado anywhere within the enhanced risk area, some significant, and damaging straight-line winds. So Sam also mentions that storm modes tomorrow may initially start as cells, and they would evolve as the day goes on. So here's his explanation of that.
As we get into the afternoon, the activity is going to blossom and then eventually consolidate into a line or perhaps even multiple line segments. The impacts we expect, damaging wind gusts over 60 miles per hour. That will be the most common. We could have hail up to 1.5 inches in diameter. and then the tornado potential we mentioned. The greatest severe risk is 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. We're going to have multiple modes of storms going on, not just a single line moving through. So there may be times when you have some scattered storms across your area, and that may be well ahead of the main line. But at any given location, your severe risk could last for several hours when we take into consideration any individual storms out ahead of the line or any clusters or little line segments of storms that may develop out ahead of the front. So if things look more like just a line ahead of the front tomorrow, we can tighten up this timing information a little bit. But the way it stands now, we're going to have to leave that pretty wide open for the potential of those scattered storms developing in the unstable air mass well out ahead of the front.
And one thing that we know is that these storms will be moving quickly, according to Sam Herron of the National Weather Service in Nashville.
Our storms are going to be moving toward the north-northeast around 50 miles an hour. So they'll be moving pretty rapidly. So you want to act quickly if warnings are issued for your location.
So that's why, as we mentioned yesterday and just mentioned a moment ago, that with the storms moving so quickly that even in a severe thunderstorm warning, we need to take those seriously, because that could mean that if it is upgraded to a tornado warning, it is moving into the area pretty quickly. If the cells are able to isolate for a couple of hours, that's when you could have some long track tornadoes, and those can't be ruled out. Not throwing that out there to be scary, but we need to know. We need to be prepared, right? And one point of uncertainty is some morning activity tomorrow. We're going to take a look at that on our Futurecast here in just a second. If there's more widespread rain in the morning, that could make it a little later in the afternoon to evening when the line begins to form and those cells pop out in front, and that could kind of limit to the eastern half or eastern third of Middle Tennessee the severe weather. And once again, have a way to receive watches and warnings. Stay close to a source of information. You're doing that, right? So this can be your source of information. We've made arrangements with our weatherology meteorologists. They'll be joining in and helping to do any analysis if we need to have that tomorrow. Hopefully not. It's not going to be, it could be a scattered event, but then the line that comes through will definitely be some action that we'll be looking for. So have a way to get your watches and warnings. And a good tip is to make sure you turn on those wireless emergency alerts on your cell phone. All right. So now that we have gone through some of this information, and Sam Herron of the National Weather Service joined during a weather briefing today for emergency managers and different folks within the weather community here. Now let's take a look at some modeling, and we're going to do this just as we go. So we'll take a look at first of all, the composite reflectivity, what the radar could look like. All right, remember that. Could look like coming up at any certain time tomorrow. So let's go ahead and load this up, and then we'll just take it frame by frame here. And I have not looked at this in just a little bit, so it looks like we're going to have to go to the previous run of this. And should load up right here now. See, is this going to take us out far enough? It's only going to be until 9 a.m., so we need to go to the 18Z. Sorry, I said I was working on getting this information together, and we're going to kind of go through the models together here. So the latest HRRR, that is one of the models. This is 7 a.m. in the morning. You can see clouds around. This is possibly some shower activity in the brighter whites, but as we move on to 9 and 10 a.m., you can see some cells beginning to pop up, right? We talked about that. Here's one out between Jackson and Dixon. And as we go through the next couple of hours, let's take it to 12 p.m., you could see maybe a storm in the Nashville, Franklin area, some beginning to pop up out in western Middle Tennessee. We take it forward now to 1 o'clock. You see more, and looks like the radar depiction here, our futurecast, is picking up on some stronger possibilities down here in Mississippi. Let's just take a little bit of a wider view. This gives us an opportunity to look. And you see how these are like their own storms that are popping up in these areas? Those are the storms that we were talking about a minute ago that could pop up ahead of the line that will come through in the late afternoon to early evening. And those are the ones we're going to have to kind of watch carefully. We take it on to 2 p.m. And as you can see, those storms are beginning to mature. And when you look at the radar depiction, when you see these storms out individually, that's cause for concern for storms that are kind of ahead of the line and could create problems like damaging straight line winds, tornadoes, things of that nature. In the area up toward Columbus, just kind of peeking up there, because seeing if the whole forecast is looking like what we expect, you can see that they've got some pretty heavy storms too. So let's see if we can move this on to 3 o'clock. There's 3 p.m. Looks like right through Nashville and to the southwest. Franklin, down toward Lawrenceburg. Here's the 4 o'clock depiction. And now Rutherford County is in on the storms. And while we see that this looks like a line of storms, you can also see that there are some embedded segments in these storms that are showing the possibility of being stronger. So as the line begins to congeal together, the tornado threat does not go to zero, and we just kind of have to watch those things. So that's 4 o'clock. There's 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. So the time frame that Sam Herron with the National Weather Service gave us was from 1 until 8 o'clock here in Middle Tennessee, and that looks like exactly what we're seeing here on our futurecast. Again, there's 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are some other products that we can look at here that kind of give us an idea of whether there is some storm fuel here. One of those is the significant tornado parameter, and it's just a measure of several things that kind of puts a number on, do you have enough for, a tornado with the weather conditions. So this is going to load up here, and we'll take it back and go from 1 o'clock until 8 o'clock. Well, here's 1 o'clock. We also need to understand, talked about this on yesterday's video, anything over 1. So you see in these areas that are green or greenish yellow, those are definitely over 1. There are some of the dark grays are at 1. Okay. So we need to remember that as we take it forward to 1 o'clock. This is 2 now. This is 3 o'clock. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Another that we take a look at here in terms of whether the atmosphere would support severe thunderstorms, tornadoes, is the supercell composite. Takes a number of some of the same things that you look for in the tornado, significant tornado parameter mode here, if you will. Let's take this back to 1 o'clock. Anything, again, over 1, so any of the darker shading, that's going to, the dark gray to the green, that's going to be anything over 1. Here's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I guess the point here is we see that we have the potential, the composite radar Futurecast, the HRRR, that's just one of the many models that we could take a look at. But when you get close into an event, it's the best to kind of give you an idea. Now, that's not the depiction of what the radar is going to look like tomorrow. It just gives us an idea of what we could see. So I guess to bullet point everything here as we wrap up, severe thunderstorms are expected tomorrow. A level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk for Rutherford County, much of Middle Tennessee. The tornado risk has gone up from yesterday to today. The thoughts are that there could be the recipe here, if you will, the mixture, the ingredients in our soup have come together to kind of give us more of a potential for tornadoes. That doesn't mean that we're going to be looking at tornadoes all over Rutherford County or Middle Tennessee. Is that likely? Is that possibility there? That's the word. Yes, the possibility is there. And it's a greater possibility than it was yesterday. Going to have to kind of raise our awareness up to this is not only a straight line wind event with maybe a tornado or two possible. We need to consider that tornadoes could be part of the mix with the weather. Damaging straight line winds, we've said all along that's going to be a problem, and that appears to be the case. Some significant severe weather or some significant high winds with any of the storms, and some hail could be possible. And that's not something we get a ton around here, so we'll have to watch for that potential as well. The other key point, the key takeaway is make sure your preparations are in order. Tomorrow, if there's a watch issued, that means that should raise our awareness to the severe weather possibilities are out there, and any warnings that are issued, well, that means we need to take action now. If there are any warnings, we will pop on and take you through that. And then be sure to watch the socials, RUCO Weather, RUCO Weather, on any of the platforms that you're catching us on here. And again, if there is a reason for us to go on and do continuous coverage, it will be here on RutherfordWX.com, on YouTube, on Facebook, X, and Twitch, and also on WGNS Radio in Murfreesboro on 101.9 and AM 1450, and in Smyrna on FM 100.5. And you can also stream that audio at WGNSradio.com. So we should have you covered. We'll get through it. Yesterday was a day to say, hey, this is a possibility. Today is the day that we believe that this is likely from all of the experts. Sam Herron at the National Weather Service, Storm Prediction Center, they're the ones that put out the forecast models. Can this thing be a bust? Well, certainly it's Mother Nature. She can do what she wants to do. That morning convection, does that change what could happen? So this will be something that will unfold throughout the day. We just wanted to make sure you had the information. Hopefully we've been able to put it in terms that we can all understand here, and just know there's a likelihood of severe weather for Tuesday. That severe weather could include damaging straight line winds, some significant, could include a few tornadoes, some significant. Now that's the entire Middle Tennessee area. So again, don't take this as we're going to have tornadoes right here in Rutherford County. We are going to hope for the best and get through this storm system together. Another thing that you can do is share where you're seeing this video with anyone else in your family, so they will know where they can turn to get hyper-local Rutherford County, what's going on here information. That's what we hope to pass along to you. All right, this has been a long enough update. Hope you have a great evening. Everything's quiet, tranquil this evening, and we'll watch the storms tomorrow and be here with you. Thanks for joining here on Rutherford Weather.